Hey, friends. Welcome back to Mourning, people, the podcast for those of us who just can't seem to cry even when we think we should because we don't do grief right. I'm Nina, and today we're going to talk about something that comes up more than people want to admit, and that's grief that doesn't come with tears. There's this idea in movies, in grief posts on social media, in well meaning advice that if you're really grieving, you'll be crying often and loud. But when you're not, when you're dry eyed or numb or even functioning okay, you start to wonder if you're broken. Are you in denial or that there's something wrong with you? Grief isn't always loud. It isn't always filled with tears, and crying isn't the only way or even the main way grief shows up. Sometimes it's brain fog, forgetting appointments or words, tension headaches, rewatching the same show on loop, staring at myself in the mirror while saying that, scrubbing your house at 2 a.m., numbing out with your phone. Also, incredibly guilty of that. I've said it before, I am really into disassociating, and it's another thing that I'm working through in therapy, and I'm really trying to teach myself. And I said that last episode, just being self-aware and understanding what your body needs. And I'm really trying to teach myself to actually feel my feelings and to not run away from them all the time and doom scrolling or even just being on your phone in general. It's such a convenient way to numb out how you feel, how you actually feel. And instead of sitting in the discomfort of our feelings, we distract ourselves. And I am the biggest perpetrator? I can't think of the word of that. I constantly have my phone in my hand. I'm constantly doing something, playing some sort of stupid fucking game or reading some article. There's a difference between being self-aware and actually healing yourself. And in in the big moments, in the big changes in my life, I always find that I throw myself into learning as much as possible about it. And I always want to learn about the biological processes of it, the psychology behind it, and why people do this and why people react like that. And that's fine. It's good to know how and why it happens, but you're not healing by learning. You heal by sitting with the feelings and acknowledging them and letting it happen and really listening to how you can heal that within you. And it's a really uncomfortable process, and you really have to take a deep look at yourself and come to terms with who you are. It's heavy work. It's heavy work. Grief can look like feeling absolutely nothing, and none of that means you're doing it wrong. Crying is release, but it's not the release. It's not a requirement. It's not a badge that says you're grieving correctly. Some people cry right away. Some don't cry for months. Some cry in quiet, unremarkable places, in the shower, in traffic, while folding laundry. And some don't cry at all and still carry their grief with every breath. Your body might be protecting you. Your nervous system might be in freeze mode. Your tears might be locked behind decades of staying strong for everyone else. Or maybe crying just isn't how your grief wants to move through you. And that's okay. You don't owe anyone a performance of your pain. You don't have to cry to prove that your loss matters. It matters. You matter, even in silence, in silliness, even when your eyes stay dry. So if you're grieving and you haven't cried, or you feel like you should be more emotional than you are, please hear this. You're not cold or inhuman. You're not a bad daughter or sibling or partner or friend. You are grieving in a way your heart and body know how to do, not the way someone else decided it should look. Thank you for being here with me today, my friends. If this episode resonated, send it to someone who needs permission to grieve without tears too. You can find me on Instagram at Mourning People Podcast. Follow me on Spotify. Follow me on Instagram. I do not have Facebook for this particular venture in life. You can follow me at solace.end.of.life.care. I think it is Solace End of Life Care. That's my death work business. And I do have Instagram and Facebook for that. If you wanted to connect and maybe have some one-on-one grief coaching. Fuck. See? Do you even want grief coaching with me? I don't know. If anything, we'll laugh a little bit. And some people have brought it up to me about why some episodes I just laugh the whole way through. And like, that's what my grief looks like sometimes. That's how my emotions show up. It's not always that I'm uncomfortable, I don't think. It's just my first reaction is to make something lighthearted. And I think it's because I've mentioned before, I don't like seeing people in pain, and I don't like it when people are sad. Not that I want to hide their emotions or invalidate their experience. I like making people laugh, and I like making people smile, and I like being silly. And even in the worst of times, I really like to try my best to lighten it. And I don't want to come off as disrespectful that I'm talking about some heavy shit sometimes and I'm just like giggling through it. But another thing I think it is with ADHD, you often don't know what's coming out of your mouth. So once you hear it, like even in real time, once it comes out of your mouth, you surprise yourself and you're like, oh, that was funny, like as you're talking, right? So you kind of get a little chuckle out of the nonsense that just happened because you weren't expecting it. So I think it's just a mix of all that. And like I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything. I think that we can still laugh if we're sad, and we're all friends. We can be comfortable laughing together through our grief, I think. Let's normalize that too. Just when you're grieving, you don't have to be doom and gloom through all of it. You can have a little laugh once in a while. And I don't know if any of you even think I'm funny, but I think I'm funny. And if I can make someone laugh through their grief once in a while, I'll go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, my friends, until next time, cry, laugh, do what you need to do, feel your grief. You can reach out to me if you need some support, some one-on-one support, and I'll be there for you. You're not alone. You're a mourning person. Bye.